slowly coming together. I was trying to update my computer and started going late. Had to do the restarts. And Jesus. Here I am, man. Here I am. Made it. And here we are on Friday. You know what we do. What is up? What is up? Anybody is out there? Let's see, man. I know a couple names were out there when I was making the comments and going back and forth. Manuel, if you're in the house, what up, what up? Whenever you come back. Josephine, the Chattervis, says she's very sleepy. We'll catch the replay. She left, y'all. But it's cool, man. I'm gonna go through a few things. I couldn't do some of the background work that I wanted to do, but goddamn, it was just a busy day. And then one of those things. What up, Emmanuel? One of these things when you try to be extra prepared. Because I put out a video earlier today, but the feedback on it was that it was choppy. I'm looking at my connection, and the reason why I think it's choppy is because the reason why I am looking at it right now. It's doing some weird stuff in the background, but it still says it's going, so I'm gonna go by that and find the crap that I was trying to look for in the first place. Yeah, it's just doing some stuff. I'm afraid right now because it's gonna go to the restart stuff. Restart required. You know, it gives you a little bit of a later time and stuff, but you know, you want to get that shit out of the way. And I'm a dude. I don't even look at messages. My goal to look at messages is just so that the little light would go off on the phone, because I hate the idea of something being there, man. I know. God damn, happy Friday, man. Welcome back. Welcome replay gang. Anybody that's here, man. Just gonna get into it, maybe an hour or so. You know, do the Friday night thing. This is the last call. This is the podcast right here if you're checking in. And we try to do the podcast once a week on Friday at 9 p.m. But because I can't seem to sometimes there's always a problem. I'm not using the computer, first of all, that I should be using. And whatever. That's just what that is right now. So that's kind of part of it. I do notice that the link is weaker automatically. So, you know, I guess with that and the little crazy things that it's doing in the background, you know, I just got to keep an eye on that, man. And that's cool. You know. And shit, not a shortage of stuff to talk about. But without my little partner in crime, the HNIC, Joe Clark, principal. So I guess it won't be the back and forth in all of that, which is cool enough. You know, you just get to hear my opinion on stuff. And if anybody wants to tap in, actually let me do the darn thing here. Copy. So the live, I never get through the damn thing. The live on Friday night at 9 p.m. where we discuss a few things. If I did have a good working computer, you know, we discuss things, old things, new things, all sorts of things. We watch documentaries here, have some real good discussions with other people, and that's what it's about. Again, I'm teasing the Khalif Browder story. And that's just because I don't want the sort of interruptions that I had this week with this computer and all that. So, you know, God damn it. It's just one of those things, man. And we're just going to deal with it and get through tonight. If I do get knocked off, I will come back. I'll be back. Be doing that. Drop a video once a week. I try to drop it on Tuesday, Wednesday-ish. Today, I dropped it today, earlier, and it's about some of the stuff we're going to be talking today. your boy, your boy, y'all's principal, Umar. What up, Lorna? In the house. The craziness that is that. No, I was made aware. YM, a couple others were like, the dissertation is available. Get it? Maybe I'll try to do it while I talk, but that it might not be good to do anything other than what I'm doing right now. So I don't want to mess around too much on this computer here. And I don't know what this thing is going to do. It's been doing dumb shit for the majority of the week, and I think it's slowing down the internet, which is slowing down some other things, man. So check out my videos. Hop on. Check out a live from the catalog. We just have a good time, and sometimes we get into some really good discussions, get into some really silly discussions too, man. And but it's all good. We're just about the good vibes in this part of the sector. So, that's what you could get when you get over here. In my shorts, I use the shorts to dig in the crates. Sometimes I get some good feedback. People like the joints. I think the very last one I did was for Howie T, one of his productions, Special Ed. I used to love that era, man. Howie T had a distinct sound. He did those 2 albums. Of course, we know him for Chub Rock 2. And they were just 2 very different MCs, man. And even though it came from the same place, the production, and that's what a good producer does, decide what songs for Snoop, what songs for this person. Well, it was said in Death Row, whoever's project this was, all the resources went towards that person. That's what I heard. I wasn't there, but all the stuff I hear of their craziness, that's the deal. Lorna says, I saw Umar's dissertation was a copy of someone else's. You mean like plagiarism? Are you alleging Umar? You don't even have to allege. I'm just saying. Are you alleging that Umar copied somebody or plagiarized? We should just say. I saw a little bit. Are you talking about the one with Lennon and Jay Witt? I used a little of that in my video today. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, get the word out, man. Just bump it up. So plagiarism, huh? I didn't get that part of it. Was that Lennon show too? I was driving around a little bit, so I couldn't even do my modding duties the way I did. But I did when I was able to sit down for a little bit, stuff my face. So I saw that, and definitely I don't want to do too much on this computer, to tell you the truth. One of the things, if I were on my other computer, I would definitely pull up Lennon in the background, but I feel okay talking about what I know, listen enough of that, and Lorna, whoever in the house, be able to help me out too, man, and we will get through it tonight. So we might as well get to a few things. I hope everybody's good, by the way, man. Good vibes. I know it was a long week. Took us a while to get here, goddammit, but we finally get here. We do what we gotta do. And this is the bridge, man. We're right on the footsteps of the weekend. Yeah, it's officially the weekend. It's officially the weekend for you. And as you get the last few weeks down to summer, man, kids are going back to school and shit. It's getting darker by 5 minutes. Go look. Every day it gets darker by 5. You know what? I say good vibes, man. I say good vibes. I'm not trying to mess up your vibes by doing a count. And I hate that shit too, because I'm a winter complainer when it gets cold. So I never complain about how hot it is and shit like that. But not that much summer left. Enjoy what you can. Festivals every week. Do that shit, man. Bring your significant other in the hot sun and annoy them out there. Do the whole thing. Under the hot sun. Gotta pee somewhere. Look, she gotta go somewhere. Gotta find someone somewhere for her. Because your shit is easy. Oh, yeah. So yeah, let's go back. All right, let's since we have time, we have things on the dock that we could talk about. I like to do when I just kind of ramble on. I try to have at least 3 things to go off on. Because I figure each thing might take about 15, 20-ish minutes. Boom, an hour. Extended time if anybody wants to have a conversation with it. Then we are able to do that too, man. So this first one, this is such a hot button issue, and I really should try to get Lennon's. I will try, at the risk of cutting us off. I'll let it be known now, if there is any cutting off, I will jump back on here and finish up the time. If it gets to be too much, like I said, I know the thing wants me to restart right now. So sometimes it affects whatever the hell it was updating and keeps your shit slow. If it starts doing stuff like that, might have to call it, do a half and half, do a part 2. We've done part 2s before. I hope YM comes on here and explains to me what the AI shit is about that I misrepresented. I didn't really misrepresent it. I just thought it was what it was. And she kind of gave me a "you silly boy" response to it. So I was expecting her to show up over here. So yeah, I just don't like there is something to be said about longer nights, the way that it is. Because really, when the sun goes down, you're like, man, I finish eating, got a shower, power down. It's already midnight. Then you're already cussing yourself like, oh, shit. Midnight, man. We're going to be 1 o'clock. It's too much. I'm kind of hungry. Should I get a snack? So when it gets dark, you just know, it's all, even if you're doing your 9 to 5, man, and it's just like, you're leaving work and it's dark. It's those jobs. It's jobs when you leave your house, it's dark. You come back, it's dark as shit. You hate Halloween because you get home a little too late and you gotta now I gotta go even slower in the residential. All this nonsense, man. So, man, we get into it with this dude, Umar. He's not even a dude. He is everything you don't want in a leader, in an influencer associated with pro-blackness, associated with education, because that is really near and dear to a lot of people's heart. Obviously, if you have children there, you're very and if you're not just if you have children, because a lot of parents think they're experts just because they went to school, but they don't know how to run a school. They don't know the inner workings. And maybe there's some, not all, but sometimes there's a professional explanation for the way that things are done. And it's not about your teenage narcissistic self. So Umar, not a guy that you would even associate with on a professional level. In an association level, if there's a group or something like that, I feel like knowing that his presence is there, would bother you. It bothers me in my profession. And I've done a few things, some social working, some teaching, some stuff, and I've done it to the highest. And I know everybody who says, I've worked in there. I was a teacher's aide, so I know that. It's like I real doing it, not on the fringes, all that. Although all those experiences can't be discounted either. That's not what I'm saying. I wouldn't even trust him as a friend. Obviously, friend, you gotta trust. You gotta know stand-up people. You gotta walk with the flock too, man. You can't, even if you're walking around with some shadiness, and you gotta stand out of that. So there's no association, and even I'll even drop that the sector. What up, Steph? It kind of weirds me out like that, and that's maybe why I stay out of a lot of chat shit. Because number one, it's just a lot of stuff enough out there. I don't want to go to the sanctity of my own roof in my domain and then argue with virtual people, man. It's rough. I don't know how people get so involved in that shit, and all the power to you if you do, man. Do what you do. Keep it safe. Protect yourself. Check your mental health. All that good stuff too, man. But people are on there. It's just too negative. Anyway, I don't do all of that for the most part. And if you do have a problem, go check Josephine. Check the administration over there. Hopefully she deals with it before it comes to my office. So yeah, it's tough to say, this guy you don't really know on that level, but you think you have enough information about him, his personality, to be like, I wouldn't even want to be friendly with a person like that. And of course, we're at an advantage because of all the people that are covering Umar, right? Well, at that. And first off, just hats to everybody that does that, man. If you forward a message, if you share, if you're in the chats, some of the main ones, and I'll tell you some of the main ones. And I know everybody's kind of talking about it now, and I know some people mentioned him in the past, did a couple things here and there. I'm talking about the main, the ones that got the information, that switch information, that are doing it out here, man. You got to give a shout out to Lennon, sorry. As neurotic about it as people think he is, and they can't distinguish the difference between what he does and what Umar does. First of all, that's nuts. That's nuts to me. But from what I understand, he's done a lot of growing as a person, as a man, transitions in life, but he's always been there for his family, his wife. That's what I see. I see a stand-up dude. That's what I got introduced to, and that's what's been pretty consistent to me from the whole time. Now, with that and their personal ties, like I understand Umar's responsible for doxing his family information and photos, and even up to recently, even a couple weeks ago, Umar put a picture of Lennon's wife in his I'd be lying if I was going to say Instagram, one of the social media accounts, whatever it is. And man, let me tell you, there was some space that went by between that happened. Now, to me, that's some fighting shit. That's some like, especially by Umar's own words, like, you do this shit, it's between me and you. Like, there's no honor with him. You know that. Honor. I said it. So he went and he did that, and a lot of the whispers were like, "Woo, Lennon's gonna come out swinging. Lennon's gonna this, that, the other." But he acknowledged it, not even right away. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't trying to fight fire with fire. He's like, yeah, I saw it, walked over it, and handled it like a gentleman, like a fucking gentleman. None of that outrage stuff. Didn't feed into it. And that's what I was hoping for on top of that. I was hoping to see behavior like that. It's good representation. That is black excellence, man. That is the high road. So anyway, there's Lennon Honor. Top ones. And he had a live up until last night, which was interesting, to say the least. He had another guest on there, Jay Witt. They finally uncovered, released, analyzed Umar's dissertation. I was in and out of the chat. I was doing stuff and driving home, so I could only do so much and listen to so much. But I was glad that I got the gist of it. You know, I feel like I got the gist of it, and which I want to go through a couple of the points that stand out in my mind also. So we will get to that, Lorna. Also, you know, with this whole thing, you know, and then you have Information Man, who complements a lot of Lennon Honor stuff, but has his own distinct style and the things that he covers too, man. Of course, you have KKC, a lot of people behind the scenes like Black Anonymous, sends information, you know, supports your stuff. Seen other people, YM, forward some of the lives and everything too, you know, to get the word out there, man. Nappy Yankee. And if I'm missing anybody, these are just people that I know from my small circle that, you know, they were on the neck for a while. Like, this isn't brand new stuff. The people reporting on this shit, on this Umar stuff now, you can't go anywhere without seeing a clip. You can't, you know, it's all in the algorithm. Now it's a lot. Those guys have been doing it consistently and getting the information out there and letting you know. I remember, and I hope I give the credit to the right person. I remember one of the concerns of the land and why people were doing the research on it, doing a little homework on it. I think it was Nappy Yankee, Napocalypse. Her name, he's going, I like Nappy Yankee, man. Just keep it. Who cares about what anybody says, man? Back to Nappy Yankee. It's a badass name. It's got everything in the name, man. You can't get better than that. You know, those just taking a little drink there. That's getting warmer. Nice, getting room temperature. Yeah. So with that, guys did a great job covering that, and it's just, again, in my small circle, and I'm just I know people jump on news and what's going on. I think number one, it's not just regular reporting. I think it's spread, well, for so many reasons. You go back to Lene, the lady that was on Lennon's channel and did the interview. She recently did one with Tasha K. Also, yeah, she's got a horrible voice. I could only listen to like 30 seconds of that woman. Before that, hold on. Before that, he had Umar's nephew on there, and that was a very good interview also. Seems like a good kid. But before that, would really spaced out, elbowed out a lot more room than what was already being looked at in this so-called sector, was, of course, the controversy with his daughter, outing him, back and forth messaging, and then, of course, the drama with her, you know, branched out even more. I'd like to think some concern with some people, but obviously interest in more exploitation of the matter too, you know. And so all the attention went there. This guy, he's been crashing out. He's been doing dumb shit and saying dumb shit, embarrassing himself and all that. All that stuff is there. It's documented. Now it's getting to a wider audience. But some of that audience is still, I just want to say fucking stupid, but I'd like to know the justification. Like, I can't think of it as any other way. If you're a supporter, Charlemagne was saying a few things. This we on lock, whatever joke. This guy, how do you show your face and represent that shit? Like, you just got to be trolling. You're just one of the stupidest motherfuckers on the planet, man. So, I heard of this dude. Let me just do my history of fucking with Umar. And I never have, because I didn't like the way, when I started watching more Breakfast Club shit, obviously he came on there. I liked some of the militancy. But he started saying, not that I'm pro anything. I'm not like that. I'm not saying I'm pro this or interracial. Really, like, I believe love who you love within reason, but don't let it be a fucking token. That I can't stand. You know, don't be a token dude, man. So just freaking have a reason. Represent yourself well. Never put one over the other. Put you over the other. And you never RBG that shit. Talk shit. I mean, RG3 that shit. And talk down. But he was saying some stuff about that didn't back. He contradicted himself. I can't say it verbatim, but he contradicted himself in that very same interview. So that struck me as odd. And there was just something personality-wise. And when he would riff and freestyle what he was saying and then get excited and off the task, I picked up on that very early. So I just didn't mess with him and what he was doing. Fell into Lennon a whole bunch later on. And I mean, I didn't put the two together for a while because I fucked with Monty shit. I didn't know who this clown Monty was. I think this was around COVID. Nothing to do. All the podcasts and I never used to listen to podcasts, man. I'd listen to my own mixes in the car and shit. So other than that, and actually reading online from what the newspapers that I used to read, I didn't really fuck with YouTube or whatever. But of course you're going to, because you can't do shit. And I was fine with that. And I thought this Monty guy was fucking hilarious for a little while. He fell off, you know. Fame and consistency ain't for everybody. Seemed like a cool dude, like most dudes. Something happens, man. YouTube needs some media training for some motherfuckers. After you reach a certain plateau, maybe it would happen to me too. I don't know. But after some of these guys reach a certain plateau, they just fucking lose their shit. And it doesn't matter. This is it's not a black thing, not a white thing. I see it all with these people. Because I guess it's a new medium that, you know, we didn't fuck with before. And we have it now. Yo, YM in the house. You're going to come up and educate me about what you were saying in that thing. We could get to that too. And thanks for the feedback on the video today. I normally don't go back and listen. I listen to the first minute. If it sounds all right, it sounds all right. Of course, it was after that thing started getting a little choppy. And yeah, I've been having some computer stuff. Even tonight, I don't want to do too much on this. So I don't think I'm going to be flipping back and forth to clips of anything. But I don't know. I decided I was going to let it stay. Let me know on the side if you think it's cool. It should stay there. If I'm just being a slack ass and just like, do what you do, go do it. Or if I could get away with that one, because you know, I guess that's what I'm trying for right now. You know, over here. All right, cool. All right, audio's great now. All right, cool. Trying to not move as much. Speak right into the mic. I'm still so on this mic. I don't think I have a good mic. I'm jealous of everybody else's like a brother of a certain age, and Josephine got a good mic too. Oh, everybody else got a better mic. I want something that's really gonna pick up the voice. I still find it sounds very amateuric, even when the one I was listening to today. So I don't know. So yeah, maybe as long as it sounds like more quality, because there was a time I was just using the laptop, and then I wanted to stop doing shit so people would not hear the extra shit going on in the background and stuff when, we're in conversations or if I'm talking about shit, all that stuff, man. So yes, thank you for your feedback too. Lord, our men usually have the biggest voices and are colorful. Yeah, Technicolor dream quote. It's all part of the distraction. Yeah. So, yeah, didn't like him early, and I just didn't like that part about him. He tried to be a Caliph Abdul Muhammad. I found he was emulating him at that point, trying to be just as militant, but he couldn't quite effectively emulate any part of that too. So yeah, man, found Lennon what probably had to be like almost 5 years ago or so. And I actually used to take calls back in the day. Oh, cool. Thank you, man. I don't know, maybe just on this laptop. We'll see. I'll play around with it, man. I critique too much if I go listening to it, afterwards. I'm like, say that. I know I say like a motherfucker. When I'm way more than I even thought. Because that's just one thing I hate. Certain parts of my life I used to speak to do like presentations and stuff. Don't do the thing, do the other stuff and do these filler words. But when I listen to my like one or two first few podcasts, or even maybe when I'm tired, drop the So sometimes I have to remember that, but it's tough. I mean, this isn't I didn't go to broadcast school. It's not what I do, but I definitely don't want to sound as bad as I did on the first time or any other time I was on. I guess I didn't sound terrible, maybe saying quality wise, because I was on some other podcast before that. Anyway, let's get back. Yeah, man. Anyway, my whole point of that, and just let me slingshot this along a little bit. Yeah, I never fully would like the guy, and like Lennon said in his live last night, it also goes with age, right? I was actually my father took us to see Farrakhan when we were kids. He thought that was important. He didn't follow any religion like that. We weren't really religious in the household, but my dad was really on the civil rights, know yourself, and have some pride sort of stuff. And he didn't even really prep us for anything Farrakhan was going to say or really more about his background. We'd have some discussions, and I'm talking like a young teen, man. I'll be surprised if I was like maybe, I want to say between 13 and 15, perhaps, and around that age, listening to conscious rap and everything too. So it was part of that movement, man. And although I didn't know the greatness of Farrakhan at that time, obviously I would learn and read and have my own awakening of knowledge to realize how great that was. But yeah, from early, I just realized this guy wasn't consistent. But I didn't know all the background stuff. I didn't know all the tweaking out stuff. I didn't know all the ranting and the negative stuff, the colorism, the stuff against women, the womanizing, the not even safe sex. I mean, you do what you do, but I'm just saying, like, carrying that stuff around, he's just a dirt bag, to find all that out. And some of these platforms, again, I'll use Lennon, who do it conscientiously. It's not just throwing out in, look, he's not busting a Hodge twins or a fucking Tatum. Those losers. God, I have those idiots in my psyche. But you know what I'm saying. He's not pointing saying, look at those people and trying to remove the self. He's also, and that's part of the background too, right? I have a lot of that in my background, you know. Maybe not so much the gang stuff, but you know, there's crime. Yeah. Stuff, death, everything goes along with that. But I think as you grow in your understanding and how you handle it, how you digest it, you know, makes you, if you are aware of your surroundings, if you're that type of person, if it is just what it is, you look and say, bird in the sky, you don't wonder about things. You know, the ignorance is bliss on that front too. But you are that type of person that's conscientious of how your actions affect other people, how their actions affect other people. You know, that's just the better of the quality that you get there. So, you know, it's cool to just hang out there. I can't be on all the sources, but, you know, a couple of the sources help out, man, and doing that. Now, slingshotting this up a little bit. He's set to lose. You can't even call them schools. I made the mistake earlier and was like, oh, he's going to lose his schools. No, goddamn. He's going to lose the properties, buildings. But he'd never make the mistake of calling that shit a school. What an ass. Now, I wish I had the dates and everything out like Lennon to be like, oh, this date, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, anywhere towards 14, 20 years, this guy has been running this stuff. But if that's not enough for you to think that he's not some con artist, this, that, the other, what was his job? It's close to a 9 to 5. What was this motherfucker? What did you do? There's no teaching records. Oh, he was a principal. Principal where? Psychologist? Psychologize where? You lying ass. So, you know, all of that. And everything just always seems so damn fishy with him. There's never a straight answer. There's never consistent answers. And then you find out a little bit more about his personal life. You find out he's a shit dad. You hear the way that he puts down black women. He's not married, never in a long-term relationship, nothing meaningful. I mean, you really don't even have to get married. But are you living that life that you suggest others, that you judge others on? Not even that you judge others, man, but you, dude, you talk shit about kids, man. You put kids out there. Obviously why you don't care either. You don't care about your own. He's supposed to be taking care of his mother. He's using his mother for a roof over his head when he's not in a hotel. Right? He's supposed to be doing some caretaking. He's a filthy ass mofo. He's not qualified because he's a filthy dude. He's got bad hygiene, man. He's gross. He can't be taking care of his mom like that. And quite frankly, he's too big and in the way to even help his mom effectively. Because he wasn't acknowledging his kids, not in his kids' life. But still he had supporters like, can't wait to get into school. Umar's the one, blah, 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 blah. Should be amazed by that, man. And then he doesn't have a business plan either. That's the other thing. There's no business plan. There's no plan. There's no records. There's no records of any of the donors. no records on how you could dig up bank notes, statements for this and that, and some of the repair and everything. But he doesn't have a system. And I always say this, man, when I talk to things he could have done and everything. I'm a very on the location individual, especially in a place like that where you're trying to get to know the community. You're injecting yourself into the community. Granted, even for good intentions, but still, you don't know what kind of resistance is there, or what people think, or what the history is, was. The school could look like shit. I'd still run my office in the school. AC, no AC, buy yourself a little heater, little room unit like you did. If you don't have the HVAC, clean out, get the 4 walls. You could have everything right in there. You could meet contractors in there. You could meet potential parents and students. And you know what kills me about this guy? Why is he not getting monetized? As often as this mofo is online and a decent amount of idiots follow him, whether you like him or not, you still tune in because we've all seen the footage, most of it, of all the crash outs. How is this guy? How is he not monetized? Was he monetized? Was he monetized? Did they take it away? Did he fuck up the policy or something? Did he do a fresh and fit? Those two idiots? Did they cross some lines and then they got demonetized? Is that where Umar is at? I really was he ever monetized for any social media? I don't think I've ever heard. So he must have messed up royally. I know I'm not hitting those numbers or whatever it's needed, but this dude, people that like him and hate him are tuning in, and he's not capitalizing on that. Lennon's monetized. Uh-oh. I don't know if you heard that sound. It's telling me I need to restart, but I'm not going to. I'm going to try to hang on another. Where are we? Almost an hour? 45 minutes? Yeah. Still on Umar. All right. Try to see where another 30 minutes go. So, so lemonade. That is lemonade. It's citrusy. I don't know his IG, but I always heard that the channel on YouTube aren't right. I think one of the channels is King Kong Consciousness is one, and there's another main one. And I think Umar demanded donations at one point because they're like using his. But that's nuts. But it's also not so nuts because he doesn't. So, all right. So I would do that. I'd set up an office in FDMG early so people know they could reach me there. Like I said, the contractor, anybody in the community, the kids, all of that stuff. That's where I would be while the school is being built around me. This guy doesn't even have a website. A website that could do everything. And most organized guys, like, if you want to submit an application FDMG at Gmail. He has one for every little thing. How could this guy live like that? This fucking guy is a fucking clown, man. It's not even funny, but it's fucking funny at the same time. Guy is nuts. So I I'm trying to remember the first thing. That's right. I saw Umar crash out when he had to pick up garbage. And I'm just remembering. I'm sorry. That was one of the first videos I've seen of Umar. And I think that was via Monty's coverage of him there. Jesus. So yeah, anyway, I would have the, doing The Office. That's for my business. Everything would be there. And obviously have a website. How is this dude not monetized? And as much, like, what? You've got to, that just means he needs, so narcissistic he is. He needs to be in touch, he's not in touch with people for information and support or anything good. It's all negative or it's all begging. He could really have those channels work for him and make the money on the top. He really wouldn't need the Cash App and all of that stuff, man. So those were a lot of things that I watched that if this dude were serious, he wouldn't just be yelling. I know what fake ass work is. You splash a little paint on your face and be, we working, or everybody in the picture's working except you. He doesn't have the mechanics as a dude, as a man to work. The way he shoveled the sidewalk is like how kids do when they're helping their daddy. They push the little baby shovel around. It's pink. This is the one line. He's the same like that. How does he not have a website? Even if I thought about it, you split it in half. Left side or right side. Right side only has to do with the school. Register. How you get in touch for that. Left side, Umar's appearances, scheduling, and all that bullshit. Put the two things in one. Get the domain FDMG, school, Umar, make it one and the same. So he doesn't even have a website. And then, like, you should have started small. 2, 3, 5 classrooms. An online presence, an online course or two, or something, if it's not accredited, or even if it's not part of the curriculum. Extra work, something that the kids could engage in, some educational games. Maybe somebody come in and tutor. Maybe just have some exercises up. This fool. None of that. None of that this whole time. No damn page. That is nuts. He really uses the internet and social media like a kid. Like a fucking teenager. Just to socialize the way he speaks, man. If I were a person that went through this like Lennon, I'll pull that's one of his sayings. I'll pull the clip. Pull the clip. He does that shit lightning speed fast. No, he wasn't interested in starting anything like that. That is your engagement. A summer program. Now we know where studies, and I want to get to one of the studies that Jay Witt was talking about last night too. Studies show that when kids are more engaged outside of school, schools, man, they're missing more days. No disrespect. I know there's so much to do at schools now, but schools are like, got a lot of PD days. Some schools end early, like after 2 o'clock, some 3 o'clock. Places aren't hiring teenagers to do the job like I used to flip burgers or go and bus tables after school sometimes. There was shit for me to do. These kids got none of that. And it hurts minorities and inner city youth even more if they're not engaged in anything or have extracurricular activities, Umar. Even that, you should have some sort of league or something for the kids to keep them engaged. Aren't those customers, isn't that what they do? That if they're not going to buy today, you make an acquaintance, you get some information, you keep them familiar. But this arrogant son of a bitch, he thinks he's the hottest shit in town, and that people need him in his wacky ass service. What a weird fucking delusions of grandeur. Absolutely. You think you're larger than life, more important, appointed self. So yeah, all those things let me know he wasn't serious. And then of course, fast forward a little bit, the illusion that shit is going on by celebrating, having some street festival in this, when nobody's asking what is it? What are we celebrating? What's been accomplished? What is it celebrating? Just celebrating with a fat Michael Jackson. This man he hired a Michael Jackson impersonator to an FDMG festival. He barely even worked with the community for shit like that either. They had to pay to be a vendor, which is okay. Yeah, you need registration and there needs to be certain resources there, but he was doing it for profit. He was doing that shit for profit. Everything he does is like everything in his head is like a get rich quick scheme for him. Wow, I'm surprised I got that out. He really doesn't think of the benefit. He hasn't updated his information on top of that. Instead of just giving around these fake speeches, which even that's questionable. Like I could talk here for hours, and I don't even want to talk about all this shit for hours like this. Even the way he gets his speaking engagements and he leashes on, like you can't even say piggyback. He's a parasite. Leashes off or exploits another event to make himself part of it. And of course, the center of attention with it. He does that. Now, I would like the idea of when, people use mom and pop shops, especially in communities and stuff, but he doesn't do it to highlight them. He does it for easy access. And as a resource that he feels is entitled to him. Because he's convinced himself that he's actually doing something.